Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each week to bring you tasteful content,
but viewer discretion is advised.
Now enjoy the show.
We begin this week in Greenwood for the annual Temple Lodge 9 sporting clay shoot.
We'll slide over to Milford to meet Jesse Baird of Piney Neck Game Calls.
We head to Crisfield to get reacquainted with a violin maker in this week's Remembering Scorchy Talls.
And we'll head to Preston to check out the new line of non-lethal self-defense items at Bell Creek Equipment.
Outdoors Delmarva starts right now.
Welcome to Outdoors Delmarva, the show that celebrates our communities, our cultures, and traditions. My name is Jason O'Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch. Jason, what are you doing? And where is that music coming from?
It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. I'm celebrating.
So should we celebrate together?
We should absolutely celebrate together.
Let's do the jig.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here are Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
It cannot be overstated how important it is for the outdoor community to continue to do good things for the entire community.
Which is why we love going to events like Temple Lodge 9's annual clay shoot to benefit Delaware children with disabilities.
So obviously Owens Station runs a lot of sporting clay shoots and benefit tournaments. And so as far as the operations here, that's a pretty normal thing. We raise sponsorships through different local companies and individuals. Our shoot is a little bit different because we like everybody to walk away with something. So we do shirts every year for the event. You come to registration, you fill out a registration sheet with all your information, and then there's a tournament, a main tournament where you shoot 50 clays. Today we have 13 stations, so they're broken down. You might shoot 4 clays at one station, you might shoot 2 or 6, depending on the station. And you go around to the stations, and there's different things like report pair or simul. We get youths, we get ladies, and then obviously a lot of the men. Yeah. But it's a sport that's really, to me, it's growing. I see more and more people all the time. It's kind of like golf, but I think it's more fun. So the Freemasons are the oldest fraternity in the world. We're a big family that takes care of each other, and we spend a lot of time together, and it's difficult sometimes to describe Freemasonry, but ultimately it's a family unit that we take care of each other. One of the 3 tenets that a Freemason subscribes himself to is relief. And relief really means charity. And we're supposed to help the whole world. And the more we can do for our local community, the better we feel about ourselves, right? We don't look for recognition. We just look for how it makes us feel at the end of the day.
Thanks to Owens Station Sporting Clays for hosting such a great event. We can't wait to be back.
Coming up later in the show, Lauren and I go non-lethal on each other. But up next, we head to Milford to meet a man who is fluent in the call of the wild.
Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. We'll be right back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Much like you can't answer a phone call with a soup can and a string, you can't answer the call of the wild without the right equipment.
That's where Jesse Baird of Piney Neck Game Calls comes in. We're here in Jesse's garage up in Milford, and Jesse, talk to us a little bit about what you do here.
So I make game calls, particularly turkey calls, which are called pot calls. I also make deer calls, duck calls, I make owl calls, and a couple of other things as well. I got started about 10 years ago, just kind of picked it up. I wanted to make myself a turkey call just for fun, and then as I got into it, I started showing people, and more folks said, make me one, and so here I am. It's fun, you know, I do it on the weekends and that kind of thing. It's not a full-time job by any means. It's just something to keep me busy.
So that's cool. So you enjoy turkey hunting, duck hunting, and all that kind of stuff, and you have bought calls like this, so then you kind of were self-taught?
Yeah, a lot of it is just self-taught. Luckily, there are a lot of useful resources online. Facebook has a lot of useful pages, and just reaching out to other call makers and kind of picking their brains and learning how they do things, and then a lot of trial and error.
Tell us step by step how you would make a call.
Sure. So I start with a piece of wood, and then I basically turn it to something, or I cut out a rough shape, something kind of like this. And then I drill out holes that are lined up on the bottom of the call using a drill press. And then from there, I put them in the lathe and then make the additional cuts with the lathe that are required to get to make the call.
Is it different for each call, like a turkey call, duck call, owl call?
Yeah, so every measurement is different, and the more I learn that a minor change can make a really big difference in a call. So you have to have your measurements relatively precise, particularly with turkey calls and with duck calls. If you're off by a little bit, you can really affect the overall sound and the overall quality.
Now, there's different colors here, right? Different stains, it's all that depending on like what the person would want, that would like want a call from you, or?
Yeah, so I use different kinds of wood. I also use different finishes. So a lot of times when you're hunting, especially turkey hunting, you want to be concealed, so you don't really want a bright, flashy finish. But there are folks that like to collect calls just to have them, and so folks are looking for unique designs in the wood or unique kinds of wood, and so I kind of try to make a wide variety of calls, working calls that folks are just going to be using in the field and throwing in their bag and beating up, and then calls that people want to hang on to and maybe pass down to their kids or things like that.
So how long does it take kind of from start to finish to make one of these?
So I try to do a number of calls all at the same time. I would say a turkey call is anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. A deer call is probably going to be 2 or 3 hours. A duck call is probably 2 to 3 hours, but you spend a lot of time fine-tuning those, so you can really go back and forth on a duck call and sink a lot of time into one of those.
You'll see Jesse at the DSN Outdoors Expo next month. We'll give you more details about that at the end of the show.
We'll indulge in some other sweet sounds in this week's Remembering Scorchy Taws when Outdoors Delmarva returns.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Music is the invisible thread that stitches life's memories together.
That was beautiful, Lauren. So I guess you could say that in this week's Remembering Scorchy Taws, the Crisfield man that we meet was making sewing machines.
Honoring the life and legacy of Scorchy Taws, thanks to Shorts Marine in Long Neck, Delaware. Shorts Marine, everything but the water.
Elijah Walton makes violins for the love of it. For him, it is a hobby, pure and simple.
It goes mostly to the children. Every one of the kids have got some, and some of my friends, special friends, I made some for.
None of Elijah's violins are for sale.
It would be too much worry. It would be too much strain on the old man to do it, that's all.
Elijah Wilson of Chrisfield is 73 years old. He made his first violin 30 years ago. It takes him 10 weeks to completely finish one. He speaks of the instrument in reverent tones.
The greatest instrument ever was made. It's no stopping to what it can do. It's just, it has no frets. Every movement of the finger changes all tones. Everyone has a different voice. Everyone has a different voice.
Elijah Wilson has made violins for himself, his children, his grandchildren, and into the 4th generation.
The first great-granddaughter was born. I made her a small violin for her to start with. If she take a notion, she would want to play.
And Naomi, now 5 1/2, did want to play. How do you feel about her playing?
It's, now you're touching hard.
Touch your heart, okay. Elijah Wilson, a man who builds legacies into violins.
I just hope that they'll stay in the family somewhere. It's more like a monument.
Scorchita is wandering our Delmarvelous land for WBOC News.
Remembering Scorchita is presented by Shorts Marine, online at shortsmarine.com.
Did you know that the first official St. Patrick's Day parade was actually held in New York on March 17th, 1762?
Did you know that the tradition of St. Patrick's Day parades didn't make it to Ireland until 1931?
But did you know that records have shown that a St. Patrick's Day parade was held in a Spanish colony in what is now known as St. Augustine, Florida on March 17th, 1601?
Now you do.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back. You're watching Outdoors Delmarva presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
We love a little friendly competition here on the show.
And so when our friends at Bell Creek Equipment invited us to try out their new lineup of non-lethal self-defense products, we couldn't get there fast enough.
What do we have in front of us right here?
What we have is Byrna. They're non-lethal self-defense pistols. You can shoot target rounds, you can shoot kinetic rounds, which are hard rounds to take down a perpetrator, and you can shoot pepper rounds.
Right, so can you carry this on you?
You can. Yep, cool. You can carry it concealed, and you know, they make a concealed purse for women. They make holsters for men, you know, or women. Mm-hmm. So, but you can carry it in any place that you could carry a regular firearm. You can't carry it into federal buildings or, you know, schools or anything like that.
And no permit needed?
No permit.
Whereas a conceal, you have to have that
permit. Yep.
And it's kind of hard to get sometimes also. Now this looks kind of like a real gun. I mean, does it work the same way?
It works the same way. You have your clip, and you put your clip in. We also, you can mount laser sights on it, so it makes it very easy for an amateur or somebody that's got poor vision like me. Then, you know, it works great.
Now, if people are interested and they want to come in, they can come check it out here?
Yep, come right out here. We have a full-size target over there that they can practice with.
That's really awesome. I think this is a great option. And actually, Jason and I are going to do a little target shooting ourselves.
That's what I hear. You're going for the big trophy here.
Big Charlie Cup.
Charlie Cup.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Yep.
All right, Kevin, explain how this works before I shoot at this target here.
Well, this is kind of a takeoff of a Glock. So the safety's here. It's on the safe, which it says S-A-F-E. Safe. There you go. And that's something. That's something. With these Byrnas, your first shot, you're puncturing the CO2. So your CO2 is not punctured, so it's always at full charge until your first shot. So you have 5 rounds here. You don't have to shuck it or anything like that. You just, or rack it, flick the safety off,
okay,
and put the laser right where you want to shoot the guy,
okay,
and pull the trigger.
Sorry, what was that score?
250.
If the man that has military clearance did not beat me today, I would be questioning things.
250! After a decided beatdown of my co-host, Lauren Hitch, I am happy to be on this side of the receiving end of this prestigious award.
Jason, on behalf of Bell Creek, Charlie and I would like to present you with the Charlie Award for the best shooting of the day.
I will display this with pride.
So you're just out here walking around with that thing, huh?
Oh, this? You mean my Charlie trophy for scoring the most amount of points?
If you don't put that thing away, you're gonna find out what my own version of non-lethal means.
Hater.
You can check out more by going to bellcreekequipment.net or stopping in their store in Preston.
Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru, will return right after these messages.
Without the trophy.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. And now, here are Jason Lee and Lauren Hitch.
It's time to flip through the photo album and take a look at a few of your latest pictures.
Thanks to our friends at North Bay Marina.
11-year-old Emily Amadeo loves fishing so much that despite the heavy rain, she reeled in 5 from Tidbury Pond in Dover during Youth Day.
Barry Seldenridge sent in a couple of photos from when he and his wife Lisa met a pretty familiar individual in Crisfield. Barry said that Scorchy had asked the couple if he could say hello to their puppies, Onyx and Pearl, and they even asked if they could get a photo with the WBOC legend. Thank you, Barry, for sharing such a great memory with us.
Mike Langford of Slaughter Beach sent in this photo of the flooding out to Wells Farm. Nice to see a few birds out there taking advantage of the temporary pond.
And we had to snap a couple of photos while we were at Shoemaker Park in Salisbury filming for this week's show. The hustle and bustle of life can make us forget to take a moment and remember what a great place Delmarva is and why we just love living here.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you so much for watching.
We've got a new way for you to submit viewer photos. Go to outdoorsdelmarva.com and click on the link at the top of the page. Jason, what are you doing to the poor QR code this week?
I'm just having a bit of fun with it.
Well, knock it off, because the people at home can't scan it if it's doing crazy things.
Okay, fine.
Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen to check out all of our social media pages.
The DSN Outdoors Expo is coming back to the Delaware State Fairgrounds in Harrington, April 19th and 20th.
You'll meet the folks from Big Joe's Honey, Coastal Bay Construction, Atlantic Tactical Firearms Trainers, Pinnacle Concrete Coatings, and more.
The DSN Outdoors Expo is sponsored by Spicer Brothers Construction, Southern States of Milford, I.G. Burton, and Riverside Lodge on Hooper's Island. And you can find out more by going to outdoorsdelmarva.com. We hope to see you right back here again next week. But until then, my name is Jason Lee.
And I'm Lauren Hitch, and we hope to see you
Outdoors Delmarva.
Outdoors Delmarva, a Draper Media production, is presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Shorts Marine and Bell Creek Equipment.